Well, our moms think we're funny.
Well,
So, how's it going?
Oh. Well, you normally say, and we're rolling, or like, the microphone is hot, or something, or like, something. Okay, so we're
So how about that coronavirus, huh?
I mean, it's as long as it stays in China, I just
You okay?
yeah, no, yeah, feeling good.
Oh, it's in China? Oh shit, I order everything off of Wish. Oh no.
Oh shit, you did just give me that brand new T-shirt too.
If you get any dollar bongs or dildos, don't use them for a while, cause oh no.
That Save Australia dildo is supposed to be pretty cool.
I didn't know they made a Save Australia dildo.
Yeah, I was listening to it on was it Some More News, Even More News podcast. I always get the YouTube channel and the podcast
Right.
So I just say them both that way. I'm not. But anyway, they were talking about that there's like somebody's making a Australian wildfire dildo, and was that like a koala on it or a kangaroo or something?
Okay.
Anyway, like the proceeds all go to, I don't know if it's the proceeds or the sales, like all the sales, because I mean that's a big difference. People are like,
huge difference.
Like when people say, all of our profits, yeah, but your profits after you've marginalized everything out could be like $5. We made $5 in profits after we paid this person, did this and did this, and then it's like all of our proceeds, same thing. We say all our sales, that's different.
Yeah.
So I think it's their sales, but I'm not entirely sure.
What's your take on the chick who well, I don't want to say she sold her nudes, but the chick who exchanged her nudes for donations to Australia?
We talked about that.
We did?
Yeah, we talked about it in the last podcast.
That's right, okay.
Because her boyfriend broke up with her.
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
we did talk about what a piece
that.
of shit he was.
Yeah. Looking back over it, I don't know if it was actually her boyfriend or if it was just a guy she was interested in, but whoever it was, he stopped talking to her.
He's still a piece of shit.
Yeah, he totally is. He totally is. But yeah, okay, I couldn't remember if we talked about that on
no, I'm in love with the Instagram star who's only, I mean, because we talked about this already.
I know you're an insta-thought, but I didn't know you were that kind of insta-thought.
Right, but it's like, the only reason I know you is because you post pictures of yourself, attractive, I'm not going to say sexual or new, but attractive pictures of yourself, because that's what I know you for, is attractive pictures of yourself. So I only see you, I only have interest in you physically.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know who you are. And even if you tell me something about yourself, you're only telling me the stuff you want me to know, which could or could not be true.
Yeah.
I mean, for all I know, to me, they're more Garrick than Garrick. And so, and it's like, and now, like, oh no, I don't want to be associated with you if that's what you're going to do. I'm like, okay, fine, I don't want to be associated with you either.
Right. Like, at this point, I think she could probably have her pick of suitable partners.
I think at any point she could ever pick a suitable partner.
Yeah, she's an attractive girl. It's funny, though, after she did that, there was some porn star who was inspired by her noble action and tried to do the same thing. It was like, if you, send a screenshot of a $10 donation to Australia, I'll send nudes. And somebody just commented on her post. They're like, you're a porn star. I've seen you raw dogged by 5 dudes at a time. What could you possibly have to show me in a nude that I have not already seen?
Now, if she did like a 5-minute personalized request thing,
right?
Oh yeah, I want to see you, And I went,
her heart was in the right place. I appreciate what she tried to do, but I just thought it's like, yeah, it's a good point.
I'll be like, okay, it's like, here's my $10 donation. What I like to do is watch you cut onions topless for 5 minutes. Like, is that going to turn you off? It turn you on? But like, no, no,
I'm just an awful person,
right? It's just the most mundane thing I can think of. Why topless? Why not?
Because I'm paying $10. That's why.
And the next thing you know, it'd be like, the latest craze in porn, porn stars cutting vegetables while naked.
Rule 34, man. If you can think of it, it's on the internet and people are jerking off to it.
It's like, at first I saw her with that cucumber, I was like, oh, I know what she's going to do with that. And then she just washed it and put it on a cutting board and just started dicing it up. It wasn't what I expected, but damn if it wasn't erotic.
My fetish is seeing women make sandwiches. Topless.
Oh, no, I don't want to eat the sandwiches they make. I don't really care for sandwiches.
Not really a sandwich guy, but I just like masturbating to them, that's all.
Especially those spicy chicken sandwiches, looking all sexy.
God damn, son. I said God damn.
Oh, okay. So I have something for you here.
Okay.
Um, okay. So you're driving home late one night. It's dark. You're on a back road you haven't been before. It's raining. Road's kind of slippery. You lose control, crash your car, and you pass out.
But is it funny? Do I do it in a really funny way?
Well, it's really kind of hard to say because normally people watching you crash your car be the ones that say it was funny. You know?
Yeah.
Like if when you lost control, you saw a tree. If you went tree or no, so you crash your car. You wait.
Go like "Ay, Chihuahua, here we go."
Not another tree.
Who else but Acomi?
So you wake up in bed in some strange house, and there's a guy there's like, I rescued you, and he's a mad scientist, and he takes you to a place in his house, and he opens up the door, pulls back the door, and for his latest mad scientist experiment, and it is the most horrifying thing you have ever seen in your life, and you are just stricken by like how horrifying it is.
What is it?
And then, after looking at it for a couple of minutes, you turn to him and say, "How can I help?" My question to you is, what's behind the door?
Jeez, that's a toughie. Because if it's really horrifying, like my default reaction when I see scary shit is to just like get out of there.
It might be scary. I mean, it could be like Human Centipede Stage 12.
Ear to ear.
You ever play that telephone game? When now, look at this. Banana. Look at that. It works.
Marvel of science. Well, like as soon as you said just something terrifying to me, of course I thought living doll. I just imagine him open the door and just be like, "Well, hey there, Doc, who's this?" And it's like, no, fuck no. But if I'm going to turn to him and say, "How do I help?" Jeez.
Most horrifying thing you've ever seen, but then you look at him and say, "How do you help?" And I finally get it. I don't understand why I've been so fucking stupid before.
Right?
Sex robots. This is just a giant living doll. That's why you are so against sex robots.
Yes,
because
that
they're
too.
Giant living dolls.
Yes, that too.
I can't believe it took me that long to put two and two together.
I mean, that also, but no, that's not the only reason. But
because one and one makes three.
Okay, so I turn to him and say, "How do I help?"
Yes.
I imagine that it would probably be
something that has feet down below its knees. Like, oh my god! What is this thing you've created?
Oh my god, you got Juju eyeball!
Hey, feet down below your knees? What kind of monster are you creating here?
And I don't know what they were hopped up on that day, but it had to be some good shit. I imagine it would probably be some kind of, like, pumpkin head type monster. Just like some, like, gross, like, mucusy, sinewy, muscular, wiry beast thing that just doesn't look at all human, but it's still alive. Because, I mean, I know that, like, just, like, as a kid and, like, being at the zoo and just seeing, like, these crazy awesome animals, but then they get, like, really close to you and you realize, wow, this is an ostrich, but it's so big it could easily kill me. And just having that moment of, like, that's actually kind of scary.
Right.
Or like, like going to the old, like, dinosaur museums and seeing, like, the animatronic velociraptors. I don't know if you've ever had, like, an experience like that. But just having that moment of, like, if this thing were real, I'd be scared shitless. I would be scared out of my mind. So I think seeing something like this pumpkinhead type creature, but then turns out it's intelligent and can communicate and wants to, like, do whatever the mad scientist tells it. At that point, realizing, oh, I can talk to this thing and I can establish a rapport and a friendship with this thing. I'd be scared shitless of it, but it's like, hey, I could actually make friends with this and I could get revenge on all of my enemies and, like, rob a bank with it.
Calm down there, Tammy and the T-Rex, all right?
What was that Whoopi Goldberg movie where she teamed up with the cop?
Theodore Rex.
Theodore Rex, yeah, there we go. That's what I want.
Interesting.
I want that scene where she's like, "You gotta dress up in plain clothes so nobody knows you're a cop," and then he dresses up in plain clothes, and she's like, "Now you look like a cop," and it's like that was the exact opposite of what he was supposed to do.
That was Whoopi Goldberg giving zero fucks about that movie. Oh, you're gonna sue me? You're gonna sue me to make me star in this piece of shit movie? And it's like, oh yeah, don't expect my A game here. I tell you, I'm gonna go so low on the acting. You're gonna have to create a whole new alphabet.
Whew, yeah, no. So I think that would probably be it, because otherwise, if it were something like just purely demonic, or if it were, like living dolls or something, I would just want to get the fuck out of there. There's no situation where I'd be like, I can get behind this.
I've never seen animatronic velociraptors.
Really? Roanoke? No, not Roanoke. There's some kind of museum that occasionally brings them through.
I went to go see dinosaurs on ice once, but it was actually just dinosaurs skating around on ice. I actually expected to see a bunch of dead dinosaurs. I guess that's what I get for not reading the fine print.
Well, there you go. Yeah, no. If they ever do the dinosaur experience, I'll let you know, because it's pretty interesting. Because they're doing it their best approximation of what they would be at that size, and just to have those things like turn and look at you, it's like, whew.
I actually did go see. I did go see like the Walking with Dinosaurs animatronic thing.
Yeah,
which was kind of cool. At one point, there's somebody went to get up to go get snacks. Whenever they kind of say like, once the show starts, please don't leave your seats, because there's a whole show experience.
Right.
And the person controlling the T-Rex like swung the head around right to where this guy was as they were moving. It was like just roared at him. It was kind of awesome.
That's metal. I like that a lot. So yeah. So how about you?
I really don't have anything, because I was proposing more to you. I was like, I don't really know what they could show me in there, that I'd be like, okay, like, I don't know.
Okay.
Because if I was like say something horrifying to where I'd be like, at first I'm like, no, this is all kinds of wrong, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
I think I could get behind a lot of Lovecraftian shit. Just because that explains and opens up a lot of stuff about the universe where it's like, well, you know what? We're all screwed anyway. So.
Okay, you know what?
That Cthulhu, you say never, he hears now, so.
I was going to say, if it was like some Island of Dr. Moreau's type stuff, I could see that really just being like, whoa, 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 whoa. But then the more I think about it, like, the research you could get from this, where I wouldn't have to necessarily turn people into animals, but maybe we could adapt certain things from animals. Like, I don't need to look like, like a fish man, but maybe you could then adapt something to, where like I could, have gills.
I don't know, Doc. I keep cutting gills into these homeless people and they just bleed out and die. What am I doing wrong?
Okay, wait. Now, were they on land when you did this?
Good idea. I'll take them underwater.
There you go, son. See, that's part of being a scientist. You don't just stop. You think of new ways.
Okay, so here's my hypothetical for you.
Okay.
All right, so I'm not thinking of like the Marvel Cinematic Thor. I'm thinking the original Thor comics from the 1960s. You have this paleontologist, or he's an archaeologist. What was he? What was the original Donald Blake?
A surgeon?
He was a surgeon?
Yes.
Oh shit! See, it's been way.
You had him being like Indiana Jones.
No, yeah, I thought that he found the cane like on like an archaeological dig. It's been a long.
He found it in a cave, and I don't remember what he was doing in the cave.
Excuse me, what the hell? I guess masturbating.
looking for Iron Man or whatever. It's like all I found is a box of scraps. Now he was in a cave, like I don't know, hiding from the storm or something, ditching the next girlfriend, or I don't know.
But yeah, so that's my thing. Is like you are suddenly imbued with the powers of a god from
what else is new?
From an ancient pantheon. So my question is, what god would you want to have the powers of? What pantheon and why?
Wow. Um.
Because
Uh,
I know you've always wanted to like transform into a swan and have sex with somebody, so this is like the golden opportunity for that.
okay, what part of "Hey, I'm going to tell you a secret" do you not seem to get?
No, we're among friends here. I mean, like what? Two people listen to the podcast, so
Yeah, they actually had both my friends. So, um,
So hey everyone, we're back. We had to pause real briefly.
yeah,
Turk had
yeah,
to do some damage control, so
yeah, yeah. But yeah, we're back, and you were asking me,
yeah.
like what I would do in that situation. No, you asked me a different question, weren't
Yeah,
you?
I asked you if you were to be imbued with the powers of a god, what god would you choose, and from what pantheon, and why?
Oh man, see, I don't know my gods that well. I don't
I guess
know
that does kind of limit you to like.
Jesus. uh, no, I don't know my gods that well, so I have to really think about, um, like, what god would I? So I know like Hercules and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
So he was the son of Zeus, which is the one who turned into a swan to bang women.
mhm.
He's basically Thor.
And a goat.
And a goat, yeah. And probably several other animals, if I recall correctly. Zeus had the power of thunder and rape, which is coincidentally the name of my next heavy metal album. So,
Wow. You're putting so many heavy metal bands together.
right?
I think you're gonna have a hard time like kind of keeping them all separate.
Get me on Kickstarter. Um, Zeus was the son of Kronos, who he's basically like the father god of that pantheon, and he ate his young.
No, that's what America does.
Oh yeah. Um, that's about it.
Really? Wow. Thank you. That was
you
comprehensive.
You can take your pick out of that.
Wow.
No, there
Okay.
was Hermes, who was the messenger god.
My man witch. A different Hermes. Sorry.
Oh man, see, like the problem is I'm getting my Roman gods and my Greek gods mixed up. It's been a long time since I've worried about this stuff.
I know. See, the only one I can say I know would be, like I know Hercules. Obviously I know Thor and stuff, but I know Hercules and Thor, and like I don't really know that much about Balder, the brave.
Yeah,
So I'm like I don't know. That's kind of tough. And then you've got gods like you've got like Chinese gods and you've got like
the Chinese have a
African
lot of
gods.
gods.
Yeah, they do.
you just want to be Bruce Lee reincarnated.
Oh, now that's one I didn't even think about that. That third eye would be really interesting.
You also have like the Babylonian gods and like the Sumerian gods, and there's a lot of overlap with them with like the Egyptian gods and actually some of the Greek gods too. Like a lot of the like
Oh, like Zool.
Uh, I don't know if was Zul a legitimate one. I don't remember. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Zul.
Some
and
oldie
Pazuzu
Babylonian god, Sumerian, not Babylonian. There's a big difference.
Well, like with the ancient Babylonians, you have like Semiramis, who was the mother god, and Nimrod, which his name was around before he was actually no, not Nimrod, Marduk. You have Marduk, who was like the father god, and he was like the god of the hunt, and he was actually like he's actually pretty closely connected to Gilgamesh. So if you ever read like the Epic of Gilgamesh, Gilgamesh was like this demigod, pretty much where Hercules got its inspiration from. Gilgamesh was this demigod who decided to go out and fight evil monsters and kill evil gods, and so he fought like Hua, the flood monster, and several others. It's been a long ass time since I've studied any of this.
I'm just gonna go with Hercules.
Just gonna go with Hercules. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one I can say I know. I'm just gonna go with Hercules. I mean, half man, half god, all awesome. I don't. So wait, so he's half man or half mortal, half god,
Yeah.
but he's immortal, right? Or if he died, he'd become a immortal god. I really don't know how Hercules works.
Yeah, I don't know, because well, the whole Hercules story is his ascension into becoming fully God, right?
I don't know. I just know that he had to go through the labors. And it was just like, I remember Zeus was going, just breathe, Hercules. You're almost there, buddy. Just keep it going. So I don't really know much about Heracles.
Would the Monkey King count as a Chinese god?
Probably.
Like I mean, like I would think that like an actual god has to be like, worshipped and prayed to at some point in history, and I don't think anybody ever really prayed to the Monkey King. I think he's more like a Robin Hood figure. Like he's like a myth, but he's not mythology, if that makes any sense.
But do you have to like pray to all the gods, like, or is it one of those things where like I get my power from your belief in me? You don't have to actually pray to me or worship me, and that's why the monkey god does things. So you have to see him, and then like, oh yeah, I see him, I know of him, so I know that, yeah, I know he exists, and then that powers him, or empowers him.
I don't know, because he kind of worked like without any kind of belief or approval. He just decided one day, I'm pretty awesome. I'm going to ascend to godhood. So he traveled to heaven and basically was like beating on the gates of heaven and was telling all the other gods. He was like, "You guys got to let me join you. You got to make me a god." And they were like, "No, what are you doing?"
Okay, first off, if you can travel to the gates of heaven, just like, I'm going to go to heaven, just going to travel there on my own, you probably don't need to get the powers of a god. You're pretty close to being there already.
Well, he was already like insanely powerful before he ascended to godhood, because he was like that's the whole thing of like being born fully formed out of a head of a rock. Just like a rock just like split open and the Monkey King was born. And so he protected all the other monkeys, but then he was like, "I want to be a god," so he basically did. And
so again, if you just happen to be born from a rock, then there's something about that just says that, hey, I'm kind of already, doing pretty good.
he is the most overpowered fictional character. Like he's enough to like destroy Superman. He's enough to destroy Goku. Whoever you want to take your pick. One Punch Man. Monkey King has him licked. He is insanely powerful. That whole thing with like Lobo, like back in the day, when every drop of blood would form a different Lobo. Like Monkey King came up with that. He would like rip his hair out of his head and throw it, and every single hair would turn into a Monkey King clone with all of his exact powers.
How would he get rid of them all?
I think he just dismisses them. I think it's like a summoning spell. He would just, get rid of them once he was done. It was ridiculous. And he like went to the castle of the Dragon King at the bottom of the sea, and he got this like magic staff that could grow to any size that he wanted. So he could basically just like form this thing the size of a telephone pole, and it would weigh like thousands of tons, and he would just like smash stuff.
Like Chitara.
Chitara.
From the Thundercats?
Oh, I'm not super familiar with Thundercats.
Ugh. Well, there's a new Thundercats cartoon coming on Cartoon Network. You should probably check that out.
I hear it's excellent.
That'd probably tell you everything you need to know about the Thundercats.
Okay, Imagine Dragons.
What? That's the way that the TV show went.
Okay.
Well, I mean, not the TV, but the theme song. Thundercats.
Just because I like his aesthetic, I think I would go with Anubis in that situation.
See, now that's not the Egyptian gods. I forgot all about the Egyptian gods, man.
The Egyptian gods are the coolest looking ones.
But because I was like, I don't really know. You didn't even offer those to me as possibilities. You purposely kept those from me.
I said any god.
But when I was like, yeah, I'm trying to think of some, and I was like, I can't think of any either. I don't know what you're talking about. I would go with Anubis. You're Anubis shit.
I don't think that's working quite the way it did in your head.
Shut up!
Yeah, no, Anubis is pretty awesome. Who else did they have? They had the goddess of the Nile, who had the head of a frog.
I don't believe this exists. Oh, the goddess of the Nile.
Yeah.
Not denial.
Right, yeah.
Gotcha.
Shit, who else did they have? They had the goddess with the head of a cow. But no, she was like nature in the harvest. Oh yeah, no, Anubis was definitely the coolest one. Well, no, because there was Ra. There was Ra, the sun god, and he had the head of the hawk,
study.
right?
Huh?
I think he had the head of a hawk.
I think maybe yes, no.
See, if I stick with using Anubis, then people are just going to go back to accusing me of being a furry. And I can't deal with another controversy at this point in my political career.
And by people, he means me.
Yes. Turk is people. Turk is made of people!
God damn it! You beat me again!
He lied when he said he changed the recipe!
You jerk! You can't set yourself up for your own joke. That's not how that works.
I do all the time with "that's what she said," and I don't even mean to. It's not like I'm pulling a Michael Scott where I just have this like pre-made list so I can fit it in. That's what she said. It just happens naturally like that.
Yeah, happens naturally. What's that notepad for?
That's what happened in an episode of The Office. He was like, "Oh, that looks really heavy, ladies. You need any help?" That's what she said. And they were like, "Have you been planning on using that all day?" And he was like, "What? No." And they were like, "What's the notepad for?" And he's like, "Nothing." And somebody takes it and starts reading it off. And they're like, "Really? You just write these out at the beginning of the day?" He's like, "Yeah."
Wow.
Hillbilly horror show. Okay, this looks interesting.
That's from 2014, and it looked like it's made to be. You know what? I was gonna. Ooh, Virtua Fighter cartoon, really?
And it looks just as good as the graphics of Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch some Cadillacs and Dinosaurs animated series. It's Cadillacs and dinosaurs.
Who could ask for more?
Not me, dude. Not me.
I like that the T-Rex has like full-length arms. The only way that could be better is if he had like human hands at the end. Hey everybody, I'm Larry, the piano playing T-Rex. But hey,
Master. You've seen Meet the Robinsons, right?
nah.
You've never seen Meet the Robinsons?
No, I heard it was good.
Oh, it really is good. But the bowler hat guy puts a bowler hat on this T-Rex, and he tries to get the kid, but the kid's like in the outside the house where like one wing meets another. It's like this corner. So he's in the corner, and the dinosaur keeps trying to get to him. But when he puts his head down, his head gets stuck. It's too big for the corner, so he can't get to where the kid is, and his arms can't reach. And he's like, "Get him!" And it's telling you what he's saying. He's like, "Master," and he's like, "What's the problem?" He goes, "I got a big head and little arms." And he goes, "I'm not sure how well this plan was thought out."
All right, Turk. So Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, does it rock or does it suck?
It just started playing.
That was a test, Turk, and you passed.
Damn right I did.
I love this guy's flat top mullet combo.
I was about to say that. Yes. Saying the blades on his shoulder that are not cutting his shoulder.
This is so 90s. The chick is hot.
The comic book was pretty cool.
Oh,
as I remember
this
it.
was a comic?
Yeah.
Ah, sweet. I gotta check that out.
I think I have the first issue of it. I couldn't tell you who it was by, though. Maybe it might have been Epic?
Wow.
Like an Epic imprint? The animation is horrible.
This is really badly animated. But if you're going to be in the jungle full of dinosaurs, be sure to wear a crop top.
Well, yeah, you gotta look sexy.
Of course. Oh, that I would have that logo on a t-shirt. That's really cool. A T-Rex skull and crossbones.
I'll only slow you down. You're right.
See ya.
You're not gonna be needing this water either. Oh.
All right. So, what other pantheons are we missing? The Japanese actually had some pretty interesting gods.
Oh, I'd like to know more about the Japanese gods.
I can't remember a lot of their names because they're Japanese names, and I suck like that. I know there was like Susanoo o Mikado, who like.
Oh, can you just say thank you, Turk?
Thank you, Turk.
Okay.
What?
Because I was going to make fun of you, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to after all. We're partners here, and so.
I mean that's like the only one whose name I remember, but he was like he found the grass cutter sword. If you're familiar with the legend of grass cutter, um, he found the sword in the tail of an eight-headed dragon. It's a pretty cool legend.
Ah, I've never heard of it.
Huh.
Sounds interesting though.
Yeah, like it's like a magic sword. It's basically like the Japanese equivalent of Excalibur, but like whenever they would slice the sword through the air, it would change the direction that the wind was blowing. So originally it was called like the sword that moved the clouds or something like that. But then generations later, a warrior had the sword, and his enemies tried to trap him by setting the field that he was riding through on fire. So he just started cutting the grass down so there wouldn't be any to burn. So he changed the name of the sword to Grass Cutter.
Oh, because that's much cooler.
Yeah, way cooler than the sword of the clustering clouds or whatever.
No, it's not.
But Stan Sakai actually did an Usagi story about Grass Cutter. It's like one of his best known books, but it's really cool. That was how I learned about the legend. But yeah, so you could be Susanoo and be like a swordsman who kills dragons.
Would you cry for me?
Would you cry for you?
Yeah. Oh, Susanoo.
Susanoo. And like the Adam and Eve figures in Japanese mythology are really interesting because basically the way the Japanese mythos works is that like there was the Adam and Eve figures who were basically gods, and then they just gave birth to like millions and millions of lesser gods, and so like basically every generation that gave birth had less and less deity until you had humans. So basically the Japanese ancient belief was that they descended directly from the gods.
Way to water down the human race, folks. Haven't you ever heard of incest? Come on. That could have been a nut shit god with like one eye looking up and the other one like in the back of my skull. But I would have had powers, damn it.
Invest in incest. More like wincest. But yeah, so
It's like, I mean, why bother dating someone that you've only known for a couple months when you could date this person you've known your whole life?
You see him every family reunion. But yeah, so like the mother goddess, when she gave birth to the god of fire, his heat was so intense that it killed her in childbirth, so she descended into hell. And the father god like traveled down to try to save her, but because she ate the food of the gates of hell, then like the Satan figure wouldn't let her go. Basically, it's pretty interesting.
Wait. Because I happened to give birth to some fire generating like human, I automatically go to hell? Like that's my fault?
Well, I mean, like, you know, it's the ancient thing of like there is an afterlife. It's not like there was a heaven and hell per se. It was just that, you know, once you die, you go to the realm of the dead. And then it was, oh yeah, I almost forgot. It was really fucked up. He goes to save her, and she's like, I have to go request permission to be freed and return home. So because she ate of the foods of hell. So she was like, you know, while I'm talking to the spirits, don't look on me or I'll be punished. So he waits and he waits and he waits and he waits for like hours and hours and hours, and finally he loses patience and he opens the gates and looks in, and she's just like immediately eaten alive by maggots.
Isn't that kind of like the Orpheus story?
Refresh me on the Orpheus story.
Where Orpheus goes to hell to rescue his bride or his like wife or whatever, and it's like, okay, but it's like you can walk her out of hell, but you can't look at her. If you look at her before you get her out of hell, then you know she'll be doomed to stay there forever. And as they're walking out of hell, he's holding her hand, and they're walking out, and he's not sure, or he's not sure if he's really holding her hand or if it's a trick or whatever. And then at the last minute, he turns and looks at her, and she's immediately like sucked back down to hell.
Wow. Yeah. So I guess they are like pretty closely related, but there is a lot of overlap in ancient mythologies.
There's a really cool Sandman, the Dreaming Sandman, the DC video game thing. There's a one-shot book about Orpheus, because Orpheus is the son of Morpheus, if I remember correctly from the book. Anyway, and something about him not being able to die, and it actually set up this whole thing to what caused Morpheus's death, with some people that decided they were going to kill him, and because Neil Gaiman had apparently like the entire Sandman story like plotted out for for forever.
Yeah.
It's like the entire thing. But anyway, so if I remember correctly, Orpheus was his son, and whatever happened to him, he was just a head. He was just a living head, and he wanted to die, and so Morpheus kills him, and then later on there was a lady that did something or whatever, and Morpheus ended up taking her child away, or she thought that he was responsible or somewhat, and being he was the god of dreaming, he wasn't allowed to be killed or something. You have to remember, I didn't read all of Sandman, and and it's been like a long time since I know this part. But anyway, because he killed his son, who was like a god or a son of a god or whatever, and that wasn't supposed to be allowed, even though it was a mercy killing. Then they allowed this person to get a weapon that could kill him, or allowed them to kill him. Yeah. And this woman not knowing that she was actually being set up by like, oh, he did this to you, so you actually. She thought she had a right to revenge, but she didn't. Yeah. And all that stuff. But I just remember I had the issue where he kills Orpheus, and he was like, oh, what's wrong, son? You don't like just being a head? It sucks.
Guess you should have quit when you were ahead.
Isn't that the chop poker thing, or what is that? That whole joke.
The chop poker? I mean,
no, you should have quit when you were ahead.
The version of it I know is that like he's like taking care of his son, and his son is just a head. And when his son turns 21, he takes him to a bar.
Oh, okay.
And so like when he like takes a drink of alcohol for the first time, he like sprouts a torso, and everybody starts cheering, and they're like, "Give him more!" And so like he gives him another shot, and he like sprouts arms, and then everybody's just like, "Keep going, keep going!" So just like he keeps pouring alcohol into him, and he keeps growing a full body. And by the time he has an entire body, he's just like completely drunk off his ass. So he like runs out in the streets dancing and gets run over by a truck and killed, and the bartender goes, he should have quit when he was ahead.
That's bad.
It's a really bad joke. But it's much better if you take a really long time to tell it and just do like this full like backstory to it and all that.
Oh wait, I remember you told me that back when because I told you the glute maker joke.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a really bad joke. I like that this guy has the same tattoo as his shirt logo.
Yeah. That's branding for you.
I'm an Instagram influencer.
Oh, so where are we at right now?
We're 48 minutes in, but we had that little break partway through, so I'd say we're like 40 minutes in, question mark.
Break?
Break.
No, wait, sorry.
Oh, sir, you need a lozenge?
No, I'm good.
Oh, we're not doing that bit again?
I'm good. Yep.
Hey, everyone, we're back.
Yep.
Thought you could get rid of us, but we don't go down that easily. So, what shall we talk about in the second half? Because we spent the first half discussing how we have absolutely no knowledge of mythology or gods.
Well, you had more knowledge than I did. I was
just a very cursory glance. And I'm sure that, like, what I said was grossly inaccurate. So I'm sure there are people who have, like, studied history who are just, like, dying to set me straight. Joke's on them, I don't read the comments.
And if that's what they really want to do, is like, I just can't wait till he says something I can just correct him on it. Be like, wow, your life is really bad.
I flatter myself there's not people out there trying to correct me that frequently.
Hey, you know what? I was just thinking, we were talking about possibly going to a con, a coming up con. There was going to be someone there.
Yeah.
Instead of taking a book from the sign, I think I would take a swiper from Dora the Explorer action figure and ask him to sign that.
Yeah. I guess we should provide some context.
Nope. No, we're not.
Well, we don't have to drop names, but no, there is an artist attending one of these cons that we're looking at who is notorious for swiping, which for those who aren't really into comics should probably be explained that, like, when you swipe, you're not tracing per se, but you're, like, looking at an image and copying it as closely as you can.
And it's not like an homage. You've seen that like hundreds of times. I mean,
yeah.
where you've seen someone do like an homage to like the Action Comics #1 with Superman like slamming the car into the fountain, which really on Superman's part is a dick move. If you pick the car up, you can just set it down. You can even lay it on its side, but to pick it up and slam it into a fountain, be like, "I stopped you!" Like, oh, dude, you're an ass.
We do still have to we do still have to write that bit for douchebag Superman.
Oh yeah. We have so many bits we have to write. Like, oh, we gotta do this one. We gotta do that one.
Yeah, I smashed your car. What are you gonna do? Hit me?
I'm Superman, bitch.
Yeah, throw a punch. Bullets bounce off my chest, motherfucker.
See, did you not catch the super before the man part? Superman.
Yeah, I hit a girl. I'm a rock star, bitch.
Like they say, can you fly? I can fly. Can you run faster than a locomotive? I can. Can you throw a motherfucker across the sky like this?
Oh, look, you just left a tall building in a single bound. Guess you're a superhero.
Can you catch that motherfucker before he hits the ground? You can't? Oh, shit, me neither.
But yeah, so no, this guy was notorious for like basically every single one of his books having like multiple swipes of other artists, and like it's basically just a situation of like, I need to draw somebody holding a baseball bat, but instead of looking up photo reference so I can understand the underlying muscle structure, I'm just going to find another artist who already drew somebody holding a baseball bat.
Or just somebody holding something in their hand, and I'll just draw a baseball bat in there. I've copied everything they've done, including like the shading and cross-hatching.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we saw him like rip off cross-hatching on like somebody's face and stuff, but yeah, it's like, oh, here's somebody holding an umbrella, but I'll just make it a baseball bat. It's convincing enough. So yes. So apparently Turk wants to antagonize this poor man.
I did not say that. I said if we were to go, as opposed to getting them to sign like particular thing, then get them to sign that.
I could see that.
I
would just like bring copies of all the books that he swiped from.
There is an artist that a lot of people don't like. I used to like their work back in the day, but as I've seen more of their recent stuff, and I know it sounds kind of bad, but like, well, now that I know they're swiping, and they're even like swiping from themselves, like I don't like their work as much, but that's not even really the reason. It's because their work has lost any, like, where it used to be really kind of like dynamic and had some structure to it. Now it just looks stiff and posed.
Right.
And from what I've been told, and the references that I've seen online, they use a lot of, they'll use, swimsuit magazines for, like, women and stuff. And they've shown, like, oh, here's this like, famous swimsuit model here, and then here's this character they've drawn there. They've even taken some of their, like, poses from other, like, books they've done, and then use that exact same pose. And everything.
I don't like an artist cannibalizing themselves, but I really can't fault them for using photo reference, because a lot of the great photorealists would do that.
Well, it's one thing I think to use photo reference, but when you're kind of copying the exact same thing, and it doesn't really fit the scene,
right? Yeah,
and because of that, a lot of their characters, like their looks will change.
Yeah, that I don't like.
Right, from picture because like I'm not drawing this person's actual image. I'm drawing this photo reference here.
Right.
But then they'll also use, from what I've seen, they'll also use a lot of adult magazines or adult movies. So there's like, because they're like, hey, the way they drew this person looks an awful lot like this actress here. Or like, look, here's this image of this person from like a Playboy magazine. And it's like, and now look at this person they drew here. The pose is identical. It's
kind of cringe.
Yeah,
that's just somebody who is like using their art as an excuse to look at porn all day. Like, no, this is for reference.
Mom,
Mom, do research.
That being said, though, there is a particular person that probably could have used that before they drew like a really bad like undersea tapeworm dick. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, everyone knows who we're talking about.
Oh God, that was so horrible.
He could have benefited from all the fetishists on Twitter just being like, send foot pics, please. Did I tell you about that?
No.
That the Game Grumps were doing some posting on Reddit, and some guy was like, "Are you really Danny Sexbank from Ninja Sex Party?" And Danny was like, "Yes, I am." And his only response was, "Send foot pics, please."
That's pretty bad.
That's great.
Oh man.
I do not understand foot fetishes.
I don't. Yeah, I don't get. I don't get it. Like, what is it? I've seen people that have had like, it's like, oh, you've got cute feet, but that's as far as it goes. I mean, it's like saying, oh, she's got cute ears. I'm no way attracted to it. You're like, oh man, I'm going to rub my junk up against her ears. I mean. Like no, that's never been something I can say. Oh yeah, those are cute because like, oh hey, look, she doesn't like, she actually have toenails, or she doesn't have like her baby toe is longer than the rest of her toes. Like yeah, they look like I would expect, or like no, she's not into Japanese foot binding, or whatever it is. Like that makes sense. I can just say that's cute, but yeah, like having like a sexual thing to.
Well, if we ever get Tarantino on the show, we'll ask him about it.
Calling that out is not going to actually get Tarantino to appear on the show.
Oh shit! I'll edit that out.
No, you won't. You never do.
I never do.
Just stop with the lies. Just right now, I'm gonna call. A death of Captain Marvel and just wave my hand over you and be like, I no longer need the illusion. Oh. You're
I'm jeopardizing our entire career as podcasters.
Yes, pretty much. Anything that somebody does that you're like, oh, let me call attention to that.
I hear this guy's a real sick, nasty freak. We should ask him about it.
Yeah, so that please don't. There I go, jeopardizing our career again. I just can't stop jeopardizing our career, setting us back.
I mean, I'm not talking about, like, ridiculing him and making fun of him like a furry. I'm just saying, I genuinely want to understand, what is it specifically about feet that it's just like, hell yeah.
As opposed to asking you about, where he gets his ideas from, his stories or whatever.
He gets those questions all the time.
Yeah, but I haven't heard them. I haven't asked him that.
Well, I mean, we can ask that too. It's not like it's going to be today's podcast. We're going to ask Quentin Tarantino one question.
Well, it is because after you ask that question, there is no more questions being asked.
We can save that one for last.
Because he's going to know it's coming. He's going to be like, this, let's just get it out of the way. Go ahead and ask me about the feet thing. Okay, I will say this though about the feet thing is if in fact he does have a thing for feet.
Are you saying if Quentin Tarantino has a thing for feet?
Yeah.
Really?
If he has a thing for feet, yes.
Really?
I'm putting out there. I don't know. I've never read his thoughts. He's never written a confession to me, but dear Turk182. I know we don't know each other that well, so I feel comfortable in telling you this. Like perks of being a wallflower. It's like I'm gonna write these letters to you because you don't really know me. I'm not gonna tell you who I am. But so if.
Dear Turk, you still ain't wrote back yet.
I made all these movies and you still ain't called. Yeah, I'm so sorry I haven't written back or anything. I hope you don't do something stupid like make a bad movie. Because I'll also get the chance to watch this one movie. It's called Venom, and I don't know who made it. Oh shit, it was you. No, but I was gonna say, as far as camera angles go, the way he puts the camera to follow the movement of the feet and all that kind of stuff, which normally people only do that for certain types of shots, like stealth shots or something like that, or maybe an establishing shot of like the shoes to then like, oh, this is a wealthy person, or oh, it's a combat boot or whatever. So this person's up to no good, or oh, it's a tennis shoe, so it's got to be a young guy, or high heels, and then it's a man in drag or whatever it is. He does it just as a way of following the movement of the character, and that's interesting.
I don't dislike his use of like foot shots or anything.
Well, I'm not saying that this is a dislike. I was just saying that if indeed he has a fetish, that being
okay,
him using that, be like, oh, I'm going to follow the feet because I like feet, but then it actually has a cinematic like direction to it. How's that?
Like the whole thing in From Dusk Till Dawn where she like sticks her feet right in his mouth and pours whiskey down it, Well, okay, we've talked about this on the game bar as far as furries go. This is really not helping our chances of getting Tarantino on the show, but
I'm not saying anything.
But I mean,
we're like, yes, you can interview me, but get the other fucker out of here.
We've talked about this, that like, okay, you shit your pants and you can write that off one time as an accident, but like 3 times? Starting to think that's not an accident.
But the burritos are so good.
It's like, okay, one time it's an accident, twice is a coincidence, 3 times and you got a fetish right there. So, these nice long lingering shots on sexy women's bare feet in all of his movies. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think that's an if. And I'm not saying there's any shame in Tarantino having a foot fetish.
It kind of sounds like you're tossing some shame his way.
No, just because I equated it with scat and furries doesn't mean I'm saying it's the same thing.
Oh, okay, well, good.
No, it's totally
for
different.
Me, I thought you were making him walk down a Soul Train line of like people ringing bells.
Just because I'm kink shaming doesn't mean that I got a problem with it. It's just that kink shaming is my kink.
Oh, you get off of shaming other people for having a kink?
Yeah. Like,
ew, case of someone who's comfortable with their own sexuality.
Ew, you like choking? Gross.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, all you people trying to call me out for kink shaming, all you're doing is kink shaming me, so there. Checkmate, motherfuckers.
What's the worst about that is when you kink shame someone and then for something that you like, it's like, oh man, it's like those people that are really big into like peeping toms, it's like, and then the person's like, I like spying on people occasionally, and you're like, oh shit, you and I could have some really good conversations, but now I've set it up to where I don't like that, but secretly I do. So now I'm just like, oh, now we can never talk about that. Me like just looking like a complete asshole. I'm like, well, I kind of like it too. No, you don't. No, I really do. I just said that. Man, I don't want to be associated with someone that can't be comfortable with their own kinks. Okay, just leave me out of it. I'm gonna go over to this window here.
Oh, good stuff.
So I guess what the moral of the story is: people just be yourselves.
Yeah,
just be yourselves.
You want to dress up in a fursuit and fantasize about Lola Bunny? Go for it. Yeah. And if I want to shame you for it, then just let me have it. I'll be done in a minute.
I'll say this though: if we went to a furry like convention or whatever, if we could do the American Dad thing where I could dress up as a car and run over the other furries, I would do that. I wouldn't dress up in a furry suit. I wouldn't do all that stuff. But if I could dress up in a car and people would be like, "Oh, run me over," I would do that. I wouldn't take any like pleasure from it, but yes, I would do it because I think that would be awesome.
Did you see the guy who was in a sexual relationship with his car?
No.
pretty sure it was on My Strange Addiction, which I don't really care for, just because there's like
You don't
something.
care for your strange addiction?
I don't care for the show My Strange
Oh,
Addiction.
okay.
My Strange Addiction is kink shaming people, so I'm totally into that. That's hot. But no, it's that show My Strange Addiction, which I'm not a fan of because you just like watch people eat broken glass and like drink paint. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is how evolution
I
happens.
remember watching something once on like 60 Minutes or whatever for these people that ate dirt.
Yeah,
in
I've
the
seen
South. And like,
Of course
and
it's
so
the
deep in the South, there'd be like these like little convenience stores that would sell like bags or like little like bricks or blocks of dirt. And they're like, oh yeah, I like this. I really like more of like the red clay dirt. That's really good. And these people here over here have the best dirt. I'm like, it's fucking dirt. You're
This
eating dirt.
This is how natural selection happens. But yeah, no, this is just this guy who's like, hi there, my name is Schmuck Buckley, and I'm in a sexual relationship with my car. And then the camera just like pans over, and he's like draped across the hood, kissing it seductively. Then he like slowly starts sliding underneath the car. It's great. But then the best part of that segment is that he tells his dad. he's like, no. Now today is the day that I'm going to reveal to my dad that I'm having a relationship with my car. He just like sits down with his dad. He's like, Dad, you know my car? Well, I'm having a relationship with her, and it is a sexual relationship. And the dad just like stares at him and gets this dead look in his eyes. Like, there's no goddamn way you're my child.
Wow.
It's great. We need to find that.
That is too much. That really is.
Oh man.
Oh, wow. That's quite something. So what? How did his church feel about that?
I don't know if he was in a church.
No, I guess that makes sense. I can't imagine him being okay with that because obviously if he's in a relationship with his car and it's a sexual relationship, then he could only have sex with it through the tailpipe, and that's technically butt stuff. and generally the church frowns upon that.
Generally.
I mean, you can call it, you can say, well, it's a girl car, but yeah, let's be honest here.
Yeah, that would... I think the church would frown upon it more because they would view it as a form of masturbation.
Yeah.
Because just speaking off of my experience, I have yet to encounter a church that's, like, okay with masturbation.
Yeah, you went to that conversion camp to get clear of your eroticism, right? You're like, you do not like cars. Having sex with a car is against God's plan. And you're like, I'll fuck a car if I want to. This is who I am.
You see, I can't answer that because if I say yes, that means I did go to the conversion camp, and if I say no, it means I didn't go to the conversion camp. It doesn't address the fact that I don't have a sexual attraction to cars.
Dude, I mean, you're my friend. I'll love you for whatever and whoever you are. But I know the other day we were going down the road and there was that truck with the monster tires and you just went, oh.
No, that was...
And then I remember you because I didn't realize at the time.
That was because it had mud flaps with the naked lady on it.
Yeah, sure. Because I remember at the time you said something and it didn't make sense to me why you said it. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, he's just rapping because he does that.
Because I said vroom vroom daddy likes.
No, it was the truck had the monster truck tires. And I remember you under your breath you went like, I like him round and big. And when I'm like, oh, he's just singing Sir Mix-a-Lot. Who doesn't just sing Sir Mix-a-Lot? But now it's all starting to make sense. It's all coming together.
Sure. I would be quicker to admit a sexual attraction to Lola Bunny than I would to vehicles. Sorry.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of torn. Like on one hand, yeah, I can see that. That makes perfect sense. Like, why, why not, Lola Bunny? Because at least she's, humanoid.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, but... Yeah, no, I don't. I would just be like, nope. You know what? I'm asexual. I don't. No, don't. I like women in cars. And I like, only time I now I would find Lola Bunny attractive if I've been like grubbing down on some like D387 or G387, then I'd be all about me some Lola Bunny. I'd be like, yep, I just can't get enough. But if that wasn't it, then nope.
I mean, I always have my D387, wash it down with some nice Soylent Green.
Oh God, man, Soylent Green, that's delicious.
Yeah, I'm so glad they changed the recipe.
Did they?
They said they did. I hope they weren't lying.
I hope not. If they are, we'll just switch over to Soylent White.
Oh yeah.
Where are we at now? What are we doing?
Wasting our lives.
Actually, if there's people listening to this, we're wasting their lives.
We're wasting multiple lives. We are actually at an hour and 11 minutes. So given the phone break time, I think we're past our mark. So.
What? Don't say it like that, because then it makes it seem like we're just like padding it out like a Stephen King novel. Like, yeah, we didn't really have anything to say here, so we're just killing time till we hit the hour mark, and we're good. Yeah, it's a podcast.
I mean, we could keep going, but I mean, no, I mean it's pretty ideal to shoot for an hour. So
yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, plus I had that problem the other day trying to like load up our podcast where we said we had like, now we're going to break for an ad. There was no ad because I think we went over on the amount of time that we could take for the podcast length.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, no, if you're going to add an ad in here, then you're not going to be able to add the next like half hour of your, and so like,
Yeah, so which is pretty rare for us to go like an hour and a half, but anyway, yeah. So hey, thanks everybody for giving us a listen.
Yep. And we're gonna talk about something really cool next. I don't want to say what it is because we have a tendency to like load these things out of order. So I don't want to be like, hey, coming up next, and then you won't hear that for like a month. Be like, I thought that was gonna be next. But didn't the movie lie? So we're gonna have something really cool coming up next. So stay tuned and just keep doing what you're doing, baby, because we love you.
Later, y'all.
Did you hear what after the
All right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.